Every peer reviewer faces the same decision on every concern they identify. Is this major or minor? The categorization changes what the author prioritizes, what the editor expects, and ultimately whether the paper gets published. Getting this wrong in either direction has consequences. Calling a validity flaw minor misleads the author. Calling a writing issue major wastes everyone's time and signals the reviewer has not thought carefully about severity. This is video 21 of the Peer Review Mastery series. Today, how to distinguish major from minor concerns, how to write feedback in each category with the right level of firmness, and the most common framing mistake reviewers make. The distinction between major and minor is not about how much work the fix requires. A single sentence correction can be a major concern. A substantive methodological addition can be minor if the paper is publishable without it. The question that separates them is this: if this concern is left unresolved, should the paper still be published? If the answer is no, the paper cannot be accepted with this concern unaddressed, it is a major concern. If the answer is yes, the paper is publishable and this concern improves it, it is a minor concern. That question is the framework. Everything else follows from it. 4 categories of concern are almost always major: a validity threat, a statistical error, a methodological flaw, or missing analysis that undermines the reliability of the findings. If the numbers are wrong, the paper cannot be published. An unsupported claim, a conclusion that does not follow from the data presented. When the results say one thing and the discussion claims another, that inconsistency is not fixable with better writing. A reproducibility gap, methods described so incompletely that another researcher could not replicate the study. Reproducibility is a core standard of scientific publication. A significant omission, a missing control group, a comparison arm absent from the design, or a body of contradicting literature the paper does not engage with. These omissions change what a reader would conclude. The test for all 4. Would a careful reader of the published paper be misled if this concern went unaddressed? Minor concerns are those that, if unresolved, a careful reader would notice, but the paper's scientific contribution would remain intact. Writing and clarity fall here. Grammar, phrasing, sentence structure. The findings are the findings regardless of how clearly they are expressed. Presentation issues are minor. Figure labels, table formatting, heading consistency, reference style. These affect how the paper reads, not what it says. Small clarifications are minor. A sentence that needs one more phrase of context. A term that should be defined on first use. These improve the paper without affecting its validity. Citation issues are minor. Missing references, incorrect years, formatting errors. They should be corrected, but they do not change the science. The framework has 2 branching questions. First, does this concern, if unresolved, mean the paper should not be published? Yes means major. No means minor. For major concerns, a second question applies. Does this concern fundamentally change the paper's conclusion? If yes, the reviewer should consider whether the concern is not just major but fatal, grounds for a rejection recommendation rather than a revision request. If no, it is a major revision that the authors can address. This framework produces 3 categories: minor, major revision, and fatal flaw. A well-structured review report uses all 3 with discipline. The language around major concerns must be unambiguous. Softening the wording of a major concern misleads the author about what is actually required. The authors may wish to consider adding a control group, implies it is optional. It is not. The correct framing. A control group is required. Without it, the reported improvement cannot be attributed to the intervention. The statistical analysis could be strengthened, leaves the author guessing. The correct framing. The analysis does not account for multiple comparisons. A Bonferroni correction or equivalent is required before the results in Table 3 can be interpreted. Major concerns require directness. The author needs to know what must change before the paper is publishable, not what might improve it. 3 framing mistakes appear repeatedly in peer review reports. Burying a major concern as a minor one. This often happens to avoid conflict, but it has the opposite effect. The author under-prioritizes a validity issue. The editor cannot reconcile a report that lists a fatal flaw under minor corrections. Softening language until the concern becomes ambiguous. You might want to think about this. On a methodological flaw is not a peer review comment. It is a suggestion. Major concerns must read as requirements. Marking everything as major. A report where every concern is labeled major signals that the reviewer has not thought carefully about severity. Editors discount these reports and authors cannot prioritize their revision. The credibility test. Can the author tell, from reading the report, exactly which concerns must be resolved before the paper is publishable? The sequence. Identify the concern, apply the test, categorize it correctly, write it with the right level of firmness, and keep majors and minors clearly separated. The single question that governs every categorization decision. Would the paper mislead a reader if this concern went unaddressed? If yes, major. If no, minor. Major concerns require directness and specificity. Minor concerns require brevity and genuine smallness. The distinction is the reviewer's professional judgment, and it is one of the most useful things a reviewer can develop. Video 22 covers reviewer ethics, conflicts of interest, confidentiality obligations, and what to do when a review cannot be completed on time. Subscribe at youtube.com/@Zenith Publications and visit zenithpublications.com for all published journals and submission guidelines.